a half moon, a bright half and a dark half, just like me. What's the good word, Shiny Arks, and welcome to episode 3 of Kirana's Fashion Passion. This week's cosplay is dedicated to a very good friend of mine, Mikoto Chidori, and he suggested Yuno Gasai, A Future Diary. Being that this is one of our first protagonists, and the character that defined the Yandere character type, I spent way too much time in Meseta perfecting her look. Without further ado, let's get to the look that gets the touch. Welcome back to the salon, Shiny Arks. Let's start with the iris pattern. So for her iris pattern, I chose to go with Manga Eyes H in large. These are found on Personal Shop for 5mm Meseta. They were given to us from an AC scratcher, and they are quite expensive as far as eye patterns go, but they were well worth the purchase as they give me that full, doughy-eyed, glossy, highlighted anime girl look. I chose this for my left and right iris pattern. And to achieve that soft pink eye color, I landed right about here on the color palette. Now I'm going to select Use Right Eye Color for both eyes to show you why I had to desaturate this eye color. When I increase the saturation, you can see that her eyes are a vibrant pink-red rose color. But Yuno's eye color is a bit softer of a rose color, so I decreased the desaturation just a little bit to give a more soft rose color. This offsets from her hair and just gives a nice little color pop towards her eyes. Yuno's eyebrows are also very thin, but they're bold and you can see their pink predominance. So I chose to use the long, spacious eyebrows, and to make sure we could see them and we had that boldness, in the eye color palette, I went and increased the density 100%. If we left it at its default density, you can see that it fades underneath her bangs and you can't really see her eyebrows, almost as if she has none. So this is why I fully increased the density of her eyebrows. The eyelashes we chose were the dyed eyelashes in black, and these came from a fun scratcher accessory and give us that anime look with the draw lines and the untextured eyelashes with the soft wing at the corner of her eye. Yuno is very plain as far as makeup goes. She doesn't wear any, but oftentimes when she is seen with her boyfriend, and I say that with quotations, she is blushed and flushed with sparkles in her eyes. So I chose Face Paint 20 to give her a little blush effect for when she is exuding that happy anime girl look. Because Yuno is often sent by her boyfriend to go murder people, I chose to put Bloody Makeup C on her because she is often seen covered in blood on her face and her arms and her legs. Her hairstyle was an easy pick. As soon as I saw this character, I immediately knew that I was going to use Stella hair. Now this is a two-toned hair color, and it has Yuno's very long, luscious pigtails with the signature bows in the back. This does not have the bows in the front, but it has those long sideburns that she has to complete that Yuno hair vibe. The hair color palette is a little bit more complicated, But here is where we ended up with color 1. As you can see, she has a very soft pale pink, again, rose-colored hair color. So I desaturated the hair color to give it that soft pink. Here it is at full saturation. It's a little too metallic-y and vibrant. That's why we had to lower the desaturation for a more paled look. And as for color 2, to give it a natural fade into highlight, we ended right here on the color palette and desaturated it to about the same, if not a little bit lower, so it fades into a more natural rosy pink at the bottom. Body paint was simple. As you can see, Yuno has a pair of garters and stockings underneath her dress, and I simply chose the garter and stockings accessory we got from Fun Scratchers quite some time back. I did not overlap these body paints like I usually do because her stockings are very sheer, and since we already have these boots that reach mid-thigh, I didn't want to darken that area any more than it was. Once again, we used layers. We did not use an outerwear because, as you can see, Yuno's dress is very simple, no sleeves, no gloves, and just a simple little black dress. The dress I used is a brand new AC scratcher that is at this time still available. It is the Luminous Zona Shadow Base. And even though it has this red slit and the little red ribboning towards the bottom, the dress is just such a perfect match to Yuno that it just gives it more of a flair to the character's cosplay. Now, it is unusual that I don't have a second recommendation for this because all of the other little black dresses had aggressive sleeves or didn't have boots and had sandals. They just weren't a good match for this cosplay. This is the best dress that you will find for Yuno, and it is kind of expensive, but you might get lucky on the personal shops because the AC scratcher is still available. So nab it now before it's no longer available and prices increase by 2. Moving on to our accessories, I just wanted to give the cosplay look a more realistic vibe to how Yuno's personality is in her shining, sparkly anime girl form and her murderous, I will kill anybody for my boyfriend form. Now, when she goes out to commit these murders, she picks up whatever weapon she can find and kills a person with it, whether it be a gun, a dagger, a knife, or a katana. Because of these murders, she is often disheveled and covered in blood. So to put more hair in her face to give her that disheveled look, I used the Flowing Bangs extension. And then I slightly changed the size of it. Here are the parameters. I reduced the green axis all the way down, the blue axis all the way down, and I left the red axis alone. This gave it a more slender look instead of a big, bulky turd look. There's no other way of putting that. It looked like a big pink turd. I then positioned the blue axis all the way down and left the green and red one alone, and that's how we got the positioning of this bag. For accessory number 2, we used the Assassin's Dagger in silver. This came from an AC scratcher from months ago. I honestly don't remember which AC scratcher it was. But because this dagger starts up here in the forearm, I simply changed the position to be slightly lower using the red axis, so it looks like she's kind of holding the dagger and getting ready to murder somebody. Accessory number 3 is the Glorious Crest December Katana. Yuno is often seen in Google Images with a blooded katana, so I had to put the katana accessory that we got in recent AC Scratchers because it was just such a perfect fit and perfect timing. So here is a side view of the Glorious Crest December Katana, adding another weapon to Yuno's online arsenal. I did have to slightly scoot in the katana using the blue axis. Depending on your character's hips, you will also have to do the same. So your axis might not be where mine is because my character's hips are wide because we praise the Holy Bible. And finally, accessory number 4. Even though she's a malicious, murdering little fiend, she is also simply a teenage girl in love. Oftentimes pictured with blushing cheeks, sparkly eyes, and little sparkles flying around her face when she's in the presence of her loving boyfriend, who is actually really just terrified of her and cannot break up with her because of that. So we added some sparkles to give her that ooh-woo look. And as always with the sparkles, I completely increase all of the axes so they are spread out in a wider range and they're nice and big. This completes my Yuno Gasai cosplay. If you enjoyed this video and would like me to do a cosplay for you, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, follow, and subscribe for more of Kirana's fashion passion. Remember to always be kind, be accepting, but most of all, be yourself. Now let's wrap this baby up with a good old-fashioned photo shoot.